what's the fastest way I can learn? And I'm like, dude, there is no fast way. What you see on my YouTube channel is 20 years of work. Starting when I was a little kid sitting here and then going up there playing for 20 years. There is no fast way. Okay, folks, it is Sunday, another beginning of the week. So you know what that means, time to go to church. I'm late. All right, guys, so I am on my way to church right now. It is Sunday, a new day, a new week. Time for me to go play this organ, which is something I've been doing for a very long time. With that being said, I kind of want to take this episode of the vlog to explain to you guys something that you've all been asking me, and that is, how did I get started producing? How did I get started making music? A lot of you guys are just starting out in your own journey. You don't really have very much knowledge, or you feel like you don't know where to start. You don't know if you have what it takes, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna take this vlog to explain exactly how I got started, where my inspiration came from. The main place that I can say that I got my inspiration, as a lot of artists in the music industry and a lot of producers, is church. I need a haircut. I need a haircut, boy. Polk Avenue. There we go. There's a church right there, buddy. 48th and Polk. That's my church. Stop by, why don't you? This is the place where I grew up. All right, so just to give you guys a brief history, this is the first church I ever went to as a kid, and I grew up here, City Heights. And after we came here, my dad started his own church. That's when he became a pastor, and then we moved back here after like 10 years.
Make sure you put on that "Not My Baby."
You are not.
Amen. Amen.
Oh, I'm about to be famous soon. So.
This is where I got my start, right here. Right here.
Don't make us out of our children. We praise you now. Remember thy sins. Put me in remembrance. Let us find somebody in God.
So, service is over, guys. But just to give like a little explanation, this is the Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic Church, but this was literally the church I was born into. My parents were already going here at the time. What got me even interested in learning how to play an organ in the first place, because that's where I started. I wasn't a singer at first. I wasn't a writer or rapper or anything like that. I was an organist first. I learned how to play this thing before I learned how to play piano or anything like that. And what got me into it was all these little knobs and buttons and stuff. It looked really interesting to me. You guys got all these drawbars, change the sound, you know, these things down here that stay stuck down to change the sound on the fly. Like, these are basically like presets, organ presets. And then you got these bottom pedals. This is really what not inspired me, this is what intrigued me about music first, because I was growing up in the church. I really loved how the organ sounded. I wanted to learn how to play it myself, because a lot of the musicians that I grew up listening to, they had like this really soulful sound, and I just fell in love with the sound. So once we went to our own church, and I think because my parents were so musically inclined and they were playing piano while I was in my mother's womb and still she was still pregnant and all that stuff. I think that's kind of what gave me the ear that I have now, because I understand a lot about music theory. Even though I was never taught music theory, I know what is a major and a minor. I know what sounds good together. I know scales without even knowing what the scale's name is or chords and all that stuff. So I think I have this musical knowledge because of the fact that I was hearing music while my mother was pregnant. Music is literally a part of our everyday life. So I grew up listening to all kinds of stuff, Michael Jackson, gospel music, all that stuff. Gospel music is really rich in sound, chords, theory, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I truly believe that this gospel music is a rich origin for anybody who comes up in this this type of environment. They are very, very musically inclined, because the things we do here inspired so many different genres of music that you hear, from jazz to soul to hip hop to all kinds of stuff. All that stuff came from what you hear on these things, because But anyway, started watching my dad play, and because I had the musically inclined ear, I would basically listen to any song that I heard. And the most famous example is this song in the Goofy movie. I love that song by Powerline. I got myself in the shine.
I got myself in motion. One, I know that you'll understand.
I love that song so much that I wanted to learn how to play it. So I obviously didn't know how to read music. I taught myself how to play it. And I played it at church one day. And then from then on, it kind of carried on. And every time we would sing songs, or I would have to learn something, I would just listen to it first, and then I would play it. I wish it was more interesting than that. But I don't know. What really got me started was just listening to different songs, teaching myself how to play it, because I have such a good ear, and whatever I hear, I can play. It's just a matter of me putting the time in to learn. My start basically came from the church, came from my parents' upbringing and them playing the music that they heard while I was in the womb, watching organists play, seeing what their fingers were doing and all that stuff. And then whenever I heard a sound or a song that I liked, I would teach myself. And that's pretty much where my start came, man. I played, that's more than 20 years. I've been playing for more than 20 years. That's crazy. Around 1997, I think, because I was 7 years old. And then my musical knowledge just kind of grew from there. Like, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. And I have spent 20 years playing this music. So I would say I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I know I'm pretty good at what I do. So the one thing I can say for anybody who's trying to like get started with music, or they want to know how the best way to get started, is you got to put in the work and the time. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people ask me, how can I want to learn how to make beats like you. I want to know how to make music like you, and I want to know how to do this and do that. What's the fastest way I can learn? And I'm like, dude, there is no fast way. There's no fast way. What you see on my YouTube channel is 20 years of work. Starting when I was a little kid sitting here, and then going up there, playing for 20 years. There is no fast way to put in the time.
That's true.
It is true.
Don't put me in that. I'm about to be famous soon. I'm gonna have to charge you for this a little bit.
You have like a...
I actually put him on my Fortnite. I got a Fortnite crew.
You put me on Fortnite?
No, look, we have a Snapchat like chat like little group. And you know that one song with the basketball, and she did the national anthem and did that horrible job.
Oh, Fergie.
And they was like, "No, that came out right." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's how I got my start, man. Learning organ in here from the masters, from the organist, the church organist, my father. My dad's right here. Learning from this man, watching him play. I watched him play for years and years, and then I became the church organist. I took over from my dad, and I've been doing it ever since. Every Sunday, every Friday.
I'm saying sick of Kevin Hart getting them pieces where he always got to be weak because he's small. Like, he's just always weak in every move. Like, he got beat up by kids on the basketball court. Like, he just get beat up by everybody. I'm about to be famous, and I'm telling you, dude, I got the grease all on the face. I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? That's my first kill, and I'm from Wakanda. Playing no game. It's not a bad song. It's basically saying I'm loving you, like I'm wanting you around. You know what I mean? So I start, we talking, but in the background like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, but we talking right now. You know. I've been searching for, I've been looking for, something I could feel, something that I know is real. And then I'm gonna start doing that Bryson Tiller rap right here.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't feel the same. You know what I mean? It's gonna be. But that's gonna be that. You know what I mean? That's that vibe I'm going for that. And then let me show you this one more thing, bro, because this is the song. It's gonna be that. It's gonna be a voicemail, bro. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm about to do it. Hey, that's cute about to kill too.
That's dope. Hey, I didn't know you make beats, man.
I make beats and music now. I start rapping too.
Yeah?
Yeah, get him on the camera. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
He said that's him. Yeah.
That's why Lorenzo needs to stop playing to make a team. If one of us make it, we all gonna make it.
You gonna be you trying to get me to be like Jake Paul?
Who's that?
You don't even know who Jake Paul is?
I really don't.
With Team 10 House?
I'm just saying though, you got a whole bunch of artists and
yeah.
music. Lorenzo keep playing with me. He's sleeping on my talent.
What are you talking about?
I got it.
Serious too.
Got me sweating thinking about this. I gotta go and get a whole agency like to find Lorenzo.
Agency?
Yeah, telephone marketers and doctors and
Some more stuff.
Don't try to tell them beats off to people yet. Don't give them too much. Don't give them the whole song.
I'm not. No.
In and outs. You know what I mean? I don't want
to be little cuts.
Yeah.
Getting started, man. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different way of how they learn or how they get ahead or how they improve. My journey is not going to be the same as yours. People ask me, how can I get better? How can I do this? How can I do that the fastest way possible? And there is no answer for that, because for me, it was very easy since I already have the knowledge in my head just from being raised into that. But for other people, you may have to go to college for it. You may have to take a class in high school for it. You may have to, teach yourself and watch YouTube videos to learn that stuff. It's not the same. So I will say that to become this good, you have to put in the time, like I said earlier. You have to dedicate your time. You have to make sacrifices, man. This is all how I learned the musical side of everything, how to play the keys and how to do all that stuff. But as far as the production goes, I'll tell you that when I get home. Now let's get home. Hey, Grizzly. He the definition of dog time. I'm over trying to pet him. He's just like.